Yo, what is up guys, Grim here, and today we are recapping my Legion League start, and oh man has it been quite the league start. We have had tons of fun, but we've also found out some incredibly juicy details on making currency, and potentially some really cool economic stuff as well. So we will get right into it, and I'll give you the lowdown of what happened. So day one, we spent just leveling up like everybody else, and we got into maps and we pushed as hard as we could, just kind of going crazy while the trade API was actually down. We couldn't really do much trading, so we just did maps as fast as we could, and we actually managed to finish off day one with a pretty respectable amount of gear. I managed to farm up myself a Rigwald's Quills and a 2-socket Tomb Fist, as well as getting into the beginning of red maps. We completed like some of the tier 11s and 12s, and that was pretty effective. So I had the Rigwald's Quills and I had the 2-socket Tomb Fist going into day two, and I was pretty much ready to go. So that was day one, nothing too exciting. Obviously the trade API being down was difficult for everyone, but we made the best of it. So day two is really where we pulled it off. So in day two, I played a lot of day two solo actually, but I will go into details. So at the start of the day, we needed to get that Elder's Orb. So we did that, we did it as fast as we could, and we did actually manage to get that by the 36-hour from league start point, which is pretty damn quick. And the plan was, exactly like I mentioned in my last video, to farm up tier 16 maps using the Elder map mod in the device, which cost 15 chaos, and you need the Elder Orb to unlock that. And that's exactly what we did. So at that point, I checked the prices of Guardians, and I saw them dropping like a rock. It was crazy. They started off around 38 chaos, and they were just nosediving at the point which I got my Elder Orb. There were about 26 chaos, and T15s were about 15 chaos, which is not high for a day two, and like day 1.5 really, which is pretty insane. So I felt like I needed to do a big push and make the best of my time investment getting to T16. So that's exactly what I did. I went crazy. I just did T16s all day. We bought a ton of Ashen Woods, and we had one of our players doing the selling of maps, and I was running the maps. Some of the time I had a support with me, some of the time I didn't, and the plan was just to get as many Guardian maps and pump and dump them as fast as quick possible, because we know that those were going way down. I'm not entirely sure why they're going so cheap. I do have a theory, and that is just that map drops have been way overdue in this league. We've been getting 2 or 3 Guardians in a lot of the maps that we've been running, and we've just been generating hundreds of them and selling them off. So yeah, it's definitely a higher map drop in this league for sure. So that's one theory, but yeah, we flogged all those off as quickly as we could, and we also noticed an interesting trend, and that is that a lot of the divination cards in this league are extremely cheap right now. Specifically some of the really high priced ones, like the Xerxes Heart one and the Headhunter one, the Fiend. They were chronically underpriced, and we actually were able to capitalize on that fact and do a bit of commerce. So I personally targeted the Fiend card. I got all of my Fiend cards for 2 Exalt each. I actually found one of them in a delve, so that is kind of interesting. So all up, I spent 20 Exalts plus finding 1 Fiend to get my Headhunter, which is pretty cool. And we did all of that on day 2, which is pretty damn awesome in my opinion. But here's where the educational part comes in, because what we did is not sustainable. While mapping, we just saw literally the Guardian prices go down by like 5 or 10% per hour. So they're just, I think they're at around 18C right now. T15s are like 8 or 6C. It's ridiculous. As you can see, there's so many Guardians dropping in our maps. So moving forward into day 3, we started trying some new stuff to make currency, and oh man, it's actually really insane. It's incredibly fun as well. Like, I just always want to put the next map in, so I'm going to recommend all this stuff to you guys now. So we'll jump in game. As we can see here, we got the full Atlas. Haven't been able to get that Uber Elder Sextant yet, but that's okay. We've got everything here, all the gear, the Headhunter, all that stuff. Determination, unfortunately, but you know, what are you going to do? So we'll go straight into this strategy that I'm employing now. So it's kind of still in the works, but I thought I'd give you guys the early scoop. So currently, we found that it is far more effective to farm legions as quickly as possible in low tier maps purely from the reason that they just drop tons of the splinters which you can use for the emblems, which is basically the breach stone equivalent of this league, and they just drop tons of currency as well. It's ridiculous. They drop Vile Orbs, Exalt Orbs, everything. They drop it all, and they also drop the incubators, which are also really crazy as well, which is what is actually responsible for all these cheap divination cards flooding the market. The incubators are completely insane, but that's a separate video. Anyway, the upshot is, we found that farming low tier maps, specific layouts though, which I'll go into in a second, is the most lucrative thing and low maintenance thing that we can do right now with the massively tanking and downtrending prices on Guardians. We'll see if we can pull it up here actually. Just take a look at these Guardian maps. You can just see it's all in the red. It's going down, down, down. We've got Phoenix at 20, Hydra at 19. This is not a good trend, and I can predict it will go down further as well. And what really subsidizes doing the Zana mod is actually the T15s and other reds, and those are just, they're being absolutely crushed right now, which is not too great. So swapping over to a very sustainable strategy seemed like the right play. And I've played around in quite a few maps looking for the best map for Legion specifically, and I've found that the best maps are definitely open layout maps with few obstructions. So maps like Arcade, for example, I tried out, are actually pretty bad for Legion because of all the buildings in between. You can't shoot like a tornado shot or a Nestor Strain Contagion and have it spread quite as effectively. And when you do have all that and they all eventually break it out, it's actually a bit difficult to actually clean them all up as well, because they kind of pair off in these weird clumps. So the best maps for it I found are as follows, and you guys should definitely try this out. It's great. The best maps are definitely, just jump in my map tab here. Glacier is fantastic. We've got Ashenwood is pretty good if you can do a build which can deal with the walls. City Square, of course, is very good. In my opinion, this is the best map for it. Hands down. Beach is also fantastic, and of course Burial Chambers is very good as well. And an honorable mention here is Tropical Island. If you have a movement skill to navigate between the two kind of forest strips, you'll know what I mean when you get in the map and you crack that open. If you can get to both sides of those and be able to break all the army out, the Tropical Island is also very fantastic. And all these maps are about 1 chaos, and I've just been using sextants on them and been getting absolutely insane returns from all of my efforts, which is pretty damn cool in my opinion. So that's what I'm going to be doing going forward. I'm probably going to swap some of my gear over to Magic Find, specifically the boots, the rings, the amulet, and maybe the gloves. We'll see about that one. Maybe the bow as well. But yeah, it's been a really fantastic league. Expect a ton more Legion videos coming up. I've been playing around with the emblems and doing farming with that, and it is insanely fun. I'm addicted. I've only tried out 2 emblems and 4 right now. I have the new map device. If you're wondering how to get the 5-socket map device, all you need to do is do a 4 emblem kind of run with the 4 different emblems, and it'll unlock for you. I haven't had a historic duel yet. I've only run 4 separate instances yet, 3 with 2 and 1 with 4. So we'll have to see about that. But in those, I have gotten an Exalt, a Divine, multiple like 100 of currency item drops and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, it's pretty insane, but we will get to that in another video. Hopefully you guys have enjoyed this league update. If you're trying to get chaos, definitely I recommend going for those low tier maps with sextants, and you guys will have a blast. I'll see you guys in the next one real soon, and see you then.